Arms at post, they softly tease. Time folds the stories we. Echoes rise, they call us near. Through shadowed past, the path is clear. Pleasant tales, the heart can hear. A world reborn in every tear.
I instantly pulled away from Ileana the moment our lips touched. I had made her a promise and could not afford to get carried away. "I'm so sorry," I said quickly. "I don't know what came over me." Her cheeks flushed red as she shook her head. "No, it's not. I'm sorry too. I made a mistake as well." "That's a first," I teased, and we both smiled, the tension easing a little. Yet, despite the levity, I couldn't deny the weight of what my mom had told me about Ivy. It gnawed at me, affecting me more than I cared to admit. My feelings were a tangled mess. For so long, Ivy's memory had been something I cherished, a sacred part of me I thought would never change. And yet here I was, undeniably drawn to the woman standing before me while my memories of Ivy had become corrupted. The conflict in my heart was unbearable. But what was Ivy's real story? I had to hear her side. I had already gone through those videos, even though it pained me to watch them. Nothing in them suggested she was forced or coerced. Still, I couldn't act without verifying the video's authenticity, and more importantly, confirming if Ivy was truly alive. How could she have stayed silent for so long, knowing the agony I'd been through? If she was out there, living her life while I was left with nothing but a hollow ache of guilt and loss, I had to know. Was she miserable? Or had she moved on, leaving me to wallow in the ruins of what we once had? I couldn't bring myself to mention any of this to Ileana. I didn't have all the facts yet. "Do you really not want to talk about it?" Ileana suddenly asked, pulling me out of my thoughts. I forced a smile. "Trust me, it's not worth it, so what's the next step?" She pulled out her phone, which she had replaced earlier in the day, and replied, "Right now, I need to speak with the commissioner." Before I could stop her, she was already dialing his number. "Good day, Commissioner," she greeted, her voice bright, her earlier mood still lingering. Not wanting to eavesdrop, I glanced at my phone, noticing a new message. Walking away to my room to read it, my pulse quickened as I scanned the contents. Without hesitation, I called the sender. "Are you sure about this?" I asked, my voice tight with anticipation. 100%. The videos weren't doctored," he replied. Also, her location was not difficult to track down. It seems she never tried to hide at all. I clenched my jaw, the realization hitting me like a punch to the gut. If I had searched for Ivy, rather than accepting her death, I wouldn't have spent the last 2 years in a miserable limbo. A knock on my door snapped me back to reality. Ileana had finished her call. I shoved thoughts of Ivy's betrayal aside and stepped out of the room. "How'd it go with the commissioner?" I asked, trying to refocus. "Quite well," she replied with a casual confidence. "You do realize that by contacting him, your enemies might find out you're alive, right?" I reminded her, concern creeping into my voice. "Not exactly," she countered. "The commissioner is on my side and eager for my money. Even if he wants to double-cross me, it'll be after he gets his balance." I sighed. "You're missing the point. You were supposed to use the element of surprise. Word travels fast. Sooner or later, they'll know you didn't die." She hesitated, her expression faltering. I guess I didn't think that through. "What did he say, anyway?" "He confirmed after checking the fingerprints that Park Minjun is indeed Jiho," she said. "He wants to move forward with an arrest, charge him, and push for a life sentence." I smiled, relief washing over me. "That's perfect. It means your revenge against Jiho is almost complete." But she shook her head. "I'm afraid I'm not done with him yet." My brow furrowed. "Don't tell me you turned down the commissioner's offer." "I didn't," she clarified. "I just asked him to hold off. I want to destroy Jiho first. Why should he get the easy way out with just a prison sentence?" I shook my head, frustration bubbling to the surface. "Come on, Ileana, what is wrong with you? You almost died last night. Taking Jiho down now would make it easier to deal with the others, especially the 3 policemen. Why prolong this? Call the commissioner again and tell him you've changed your mind. Do it right now." She glared at me, her voice sharp. "Don't tell me what to do, Hajun." I scoffed, taken aback. "What?" "This is my revenge. I'll carry it out how I see fit. You have no idea what it's like to be betrayed like I was. You can't understand what I feel inside." Her words stung, but before I could respond, she added, "If you think my plan is unreasonable, maybe you don't need to be here. Maybe it's better if I leave." I watched in disbelief as she turned to leave, the tension between us palpable. One minute she was happy to have me by her side, and the next, she was telling me to go to hell. "Don't walk away, Ileana," I called after her, but she didn't stop. Just as she opened the door, a gunshot rang out, and she quickly slammed it shut, collapsing to the ground as more bullets peppered the door. My heart raced as I dashed into the room, grabbing my gun. The shooting stopped just as I cautiously stepped out, only to freeze in horror. Ileana lay motionless on the floor, her body limp in a pool of blood. I fell to my knees beside her, my vision blurring as darkness engulfed me. I opened my eyes and found myself lying in a bed, shirtless. The room felt oddly familiar, though I knew it wasn't mine. Turning to my left, I saw Ileana sitting beside me. Suddenly, the memory of her lying in a pool of blood flooded back. I bolted upright. "Ileana, is this a dream?" "Hajan, how do you feel?" she asked, her voice steady, though her eyes showed concern. I cupped her face, my heart racing at the thought that this could all be a dream. "Ileana," I gasped, my eyes welling up. She looked at me, slightly startled by my intensity. "Yes, it's me, Hajan." Without thinking, I pulled her into a tight embrace. "I thought I lost you. I can't believe you're here." She gently pulled back, her expression questioning. "Why? What do you remember?" I released her from the hug, holding her hands instead. "There was an attacker. He opened fire as soon as you opened the door. You closed it and dropped to the floor while I ran to get my gun. When I came back, the shooting had stopped and you were lying in a pool of blood. I thought you were gone. I must have fainted because I don't remember anything after that." She smiled faintly. "It'll take more than that to take me down again." I noticed a sharp pain in my arm as she touched me. Glancing down, I saw it was wrapped in a bandage. "I wasn't shot," she continued, her voice soft. "You were." I blinked in confusion. "What?" She nodded. "Yeah, you were standing right behind me when I opened the door. The moment I saw the shooter, I closed it, but the bullet was faster. It grazed your arm." She paused, her eyes darkening with the memory. "The blood on your arm turned black, which is how I knew the bullet was poisoned. I was terrified it had entered deeper into your body." I stared at her, speechless. I knew I had to act fast. I grabbed my gun and circled around the house to check for the shooter, but he was gone. People had already gathered because of the gunshots, and I knew the police would arrive any moment. But I couldn't wait. I had to get you to safety. "You carried me out?" I asked, incredulous. "How?" She shrugged lightly. "It wasn't easy, considering your size. I put you in your car and brought you here. I had the antidote for the poison, which is part of the reason we came to this place in the first place. One of the side effects of that poison is hallucination." I looked at her, trying to process everything. "So, me thinking you were dead, that was." She cut in, smiling knowingly. "Your worst fear. When poisoned, people tend to see what terrifies them the most. Seems like my artificial face means more to you than you realize." I chuckled, trying to play it off. "Losing you my worst fear, that's BS." She raised her brow teasingly. "Really? So I'm not important to you at all?" I smirked. "That's not what I said. You claimed your face must mean the world to me, but it's not even your real face. Why would I care about it?" She stared at me for a moment before smiling softly. "It's good to have you back, Hajan, because for me, losing you is my worst fear, at least for now." She stood up to leave, but I caught her hand, gently pulling her back. "Stay with me just a little longer." She sighed but sat back down. "Thank you for saving my life," I said quietly. "But how did you know the bullet was poisoned?" "My godfather deals in guns and poisons as a side business," she revealed. "That's how I knew how to handle it so quickly. That's why getting poisoned for Yaren wasn't hard. I can recognize it at a glance." I smiled, impressed. "Wow, you're quite the asset. You ever thought about working undercover for the NIS or something? You could be a real agent instead of, whatever this is." She laughed. "Are you trying to be funny right now?" "Did it sound funny?" I grinned. She rolled her eyes playfully. "You're different all of a sudden. I'm not sure if it's because of the poison's residue or something else." My eyes widened. "Residue? I thought you said you got the poison out." She stretched, yawning. Well, I'm not a doctor, you never know. I narrowed my eyes, smirking. I see what you're doing, messing with me on purpose. She smiled, leaning back. You're too sharp for your own good. I sighed and looked around the room again. This place looks familiar, but at the same time it feels unfamiliar. Where are we? My bedroom, she replied. I brought you back. This is my apartment on the outskirts of town. Why? I asked, getting off the bed. This place isn't safe, Ileana. We're completely isolated here. It's easy for someone to hurt you when no one's around to see. For example, if the shooter had been right outside the door, he wouldn't have left. No one would have called 112 or even come out to help. Contrary to what you think, this place is very safe, she said calmly. Besides, all the antidotes are here. Where else could we have gone? I know you own a lot of luxurious apartments in the city, I reminded her, hoping she hadn't forgotten. How can this place be safer? She smiled. This is a safe house, Hajan. At first glance, it looks like a simple apartment, but there's an underground complex with plenty of rooms. The master bedroom leads to a tunnel that connects to the heart of the city. This was meant to be privileged information for my heir. I've just broken my promise to my dad, Hajan, because I trust you. Please don't make me regret it. My expression turned serious as I promised. I would never betray that trust. She nodded. That's good. The antidote was in one of the underground rooms, and the complex can only be accessed using my fingerprints. In case of an attack, we can live down there comfortably for 6 months. That's why I brought us here. Wow, I breathed, genuinely impressed. Your dad must have been incredibly smart. She nodded sadly. Yeah, he was. Too bad illness took him away too soon. A few seconds of silence passed between us before I asked, who else knows about the underground safe house and tunnels? She shrugged. Only the foreign builders who constructed it. My dad told me they were trusted men of my godfather, and they all signed contracts of secrecy. I'm not worried about sabotage. I nodded, feeling more at ease. Outskirts it is then, but I'll need to grab some things from my place. Do it when you feel better, she instructed. Leaning toward her, I hugged her tightly again and confessed. I know I don't say this enough, Ileana, but having you in my life is a blessing I don't take for granted. You're very special to me, more than you realize. And in case I've made you think otherwise, to me, you'll always be a priority. Do you mean that? She asked softly. Or is it because of my face? I smiled. It has nothing to do with your face. I've seen your pictures before the surgery. Want to know a secret? Only if you want to tell me, she replied. Your old face was more beautiful than the one you have now. She chuckled. Now I know there's still poison in your system. I laughed, then turned serious again. On a more serious note, I'm sorry for upsetting you earlier. If I'd chosen my words more carefully, you wouldn't have tried to leave. No, she cut me off. I'm the one who's sorry. I don't know why I got so upset and wanted to leave. It was childish of me. But now we know the shooter didn't find out you were alive through the commissioner, I pointed out. He must have followed us from the courthouse and waited outside. She sighed, but how did he recognize me? I was in disguise. I smiled. I didn't want to say it, but your disguise attracted more attention than it hid. You might not have noticed, but I did. Next time I'll choose your clothes if you need a disguise. She sighed again. Fair enough. There's something I need to do. I'll have to leave briefly. Don't tell me you're planning to go out, I replied, concerned. Whatever it is, I'm sure you can handle it from here. That's the power of money, Ileana. Use it. I can't hide forever, Hajan, she said. I need to go to my company. I'm not asking you to hide, I explained gently. I just want to keep you safe. Once we figure out which of your enemies is trying to kill you, it'll be safe for you to go out. She considered my words before finally agreeing. Okay, I'll go with your plan. I got up and together we left her bedroom. I settled on the couch, watching as she moved up and down the room, making various phone calls. It's the second time since she started her revenge that an attempt has been made on her life, I thought, my eyes never leaving her. She always tells me she can handle herself, and now I believe her. Maybe she doesn't need me as much as I think she does. Good. Once they're done with their little sexcapade, send the video to me, she instructed, hanging up. Did I just hear you mention sex? I asked. She smiled, a touch of satisfaction in her voice. As we speak, Jiho, my ex-husband, is in a cozy hotel room with Bora, my secretary. I guess subbing wasn't enough for him. At times like this, I wonder if I was under some kind of spell. I mean, I trusted Yaren and she pushed him into my life, but I should have been wiser. I had such terrible judgment and even worse taste. I smiled at her attempt to mask the pain. Don't beat yourself up. Your revenge is making Jiho enjoy his downfall far too much. Even thinking about it enjures me. Let the past go. She scoffed. You think having sex with different women is enjoyment? For someone like Jiho? Yeah, I replied, knowing the conversation was heading into dangerous territory. Her brows arched. And what about you? Would you deny wanting to be in Jiho's shoes right now? I saw the way your eyes stayed glued to Subin the day you met her. Why are you holding yourself back? You don't have to pretend in front of me. I stared at her for a moment before shaking my head. I feel saddened that you think so lowly of me. If I were such a fickle man, would I have stayed devoted to the memory of a woman who died 2 years ago? As for Subin, I looked at her because her legs reminded me of when I first saw Ivy on the runway. You know what? You are right about one thing. You were a terrible judge of character and it seems you haven't changed. I am very disappointed by your words. I stood up and started walking away when she called after me. Wait, Hajun, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me just now. The truth is, I think very highly of you. I mean, I practically threw myself at you back in Qingguo when I thought you were truly my husband, but you held back. Jiho could never be half the man you are. Then why say those things? I asked, turning to face her. She shrugged, clearly frustrated with herself. Honestly, when I think about the way you looked at Subin, and you did say she was too good for Jiho, it made me feel. Jealous, I asked. She sighed, avoiding my gaze. I don't know what I feel, Hajun. Is that why you offered to pay Subin to spend the night with me? I pressed. She nodded slowly. I thought maybe you liked her. I don't, I stated firmly. I'm not Jiho Ileana. As unbelievable as it may sound, I haven't had sex in over 2 years. It's not that I lack opportunities. Subin doesn't even come close to the women who throw themselves at me. This isn't me being cocky. It's the plain truth. For me, sex isn't just physical. If I touch you, it means you hold a place in my heart. She stepped closer to me, her eyes searching mine. So, do you desire to touch me? I bit my lip, hesitating as I stared at her. The silence between us stretched on. Just as I was about to respond, my phone rang. Excuse me, I've got a call, I said, pulling it from my pocket and answering. Hello, who's this? Baby, it's me. My heart skipped a beat at the familiar voice. Are you there? Can you hear me? She asked, but I remained silent, stunned by the voice I hadn't expected. Her tone softened as she said, Hajun, your Ivy is back.
Quick pause. If you're enjoying this story so far, make sure you're subscribed to Blasian Folktales. That way, you won't miss the next episode or the twist that's coming. We post new Blasian Folktales and series episodes, and subscribing keeps you locked in for every reveal, every secret, and every moment that makes these stories special. It only takes a second. Tap subscribe, turn on the bell, and you're good to go. All right, no more interruptions. Let's jump right back into the story.
The moment Ivy said she was back, my expression shifted into one of pure irritation. I knew it wasn't fair. I owed it to her to at least listen to her side of the story, but my emotions got the best of me. Nevertheless, I replied, wrong number, and hung up. Ileana was staring at me intently, her eyes studying my face, and I knew she could tell my mood had been completely ruined by the call. The pain in my arm, which I had momentarily stopped feeling thanks to being so immersed in our conversation, suddenly resurfaced and began to sting, only adding to my frustration. Where were we? I asked, trying to mask the anger and physical discomfort that gnawed at me. She held my gaze for a few moments before offering a small, knowing smile. Well, we were talking about Jiho. He's currently having sex with Bora, and you mentioned that he is enjoying himself. Her voice grew colder, more calculated. In reality, this is just part of the disaster I'm about to throw him into. He'll pay dearly for this so-called enjoyment. If things go according to plan, Subin won't need to stick around much longer, and I can move on to my next phase. I furrowed my brows. But why get rid of Subin when she's your eyes and ears inside the house? You need her, or don't you? Ileana's smile deepened. That's easy. Subin will plant cameras in all the rooms and give me full access to the one in the living room. Once that's set, I'll be able to watch everything quietly on my terms. Her eyes gleamed with a sharp edge as she spoke, clearly thrilled at the thought of destroying her enemies. Watching her in this moment, I felt a strange sense of relief. I was glad I wasn't on her list. Just then her phone rang. She answered it briefly and then called Subin, her voice smooth and controlled. Make sure she watches it. Done with that, I asked when she hung up. She nodded in response. I sat down and leaned back in my chair, letting out a deep sigh. We can't keep going like this, Ileana. These people, they're after you. They know you're alive despite their attempts to kill you. You can't wait around for them to strike again. We have to hit them first. She nodded in agreement. You're right, and I've got a wild guess. Jiho and Bora. I have a plan, I began just as she said the same. We both smiled at the coincidence. You go first, I said, gesturing for her to continue. She shook her head. No, let's hear your plan first. I was just about to explain when my phone started ringing again. Expecting it to be Ivy and ready to cut her off, I glanced at the screen and saw it wasn't an unfamiliar number this time. Excuse me for a second, I told Ileana, turning my face to answer. What's up? I asked the man on the other end. I know where she'll be less than 24 hours from now, he replied. I've sent it to you. Good job, I said before ending the call. I turned back to Ileana, my thoughts briefly drifting to Ivy. I'll find out the truth about you myself, I promised inwardly. When I looked up, I noticed Ileana was still watching me. You know what? I said, smiling slightly. Let's go with your plan. I believe it would be better than what I have in mind. Tell me the truth, Hajan. Are you okay? She asked softly, her gaze intense. I'm not blind, I can tell something is eating you up. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. I guess you can see right through me. The thing is, earlier today, back at my house, my mom showed up. Her brows shot up in surprise. Really? Why? And how come I didn't see her? That's because I asked her to leave, I replied, feeling the weight of the words. She came to convince me that Ivy is evil and all that. She found out I came to Seoul and tracked me down. She leaned in, eyes narrowing slightly. So what did she say? She has no idea that you're not the real Ivy, I continued, my voice tightening. She kept asking me to divorce you, to cut you out of my life completely. She sat beside me and sighed, her expression thoughtful. I know how painful this must be for you, especially since Ivy is already dead. Trust me, in no way am I defending your mom or your half-sister's actions, but don't you think something's off? I glanced at her. What do you mean? I mean, she said slowly, their hatred for Ivy doesn't seem normal. I can sense your mom's love for you, even your sister's, but there's something deeper here. Maybe something happened between Ivy and your family while she was still alive that you don't know about. Instead of shutting your mom out every time she brings it up, why not try to have a calm conversation with her? Maybe you'll learn what the bone of contention is. Even Ileana could tell something was off. Yet all this time, I couldn't find any fault in Ivy. Was I so blinded by love that I let her play me for a fool? You know what? I said, deflecting the unease gnawing at me. We should focus on your revenge. She studied me for a second, but thankfully didn't press further. Now, I continued, we have the 3 cops, Seoyin, Jiho, Bora, and let's not forget those executives who secretly opposed you at the company. Any or all of them might go the extra mile to make sure you're dead. Why are you so sure Jiho and Bora are behind this? What if it turns out to be someone else? She smiled, that cold, determined smile of hers. Good question, but whether Jiho and Bora are behind the latest attempts to kill me doesn't matter right now. They're still on my list for what they did to me, framing me, sending me to prison. They're just at the top of that list. After them, I'll deal with the 3 cops. And as for the company, I'm showing up tomorrow, whether they expect me or not. I tensed at her words. Wait, you're going to the company tomorrow alone? Yes, she said calmly. I'll take precautions, but they already know I'm alive. Hiding won't do me any good now. No, I said, shaking my head. That's not happening. I won't let you walk into that place by yourself. I'll go with you. That's final, Ileana. She smiled again, softer this time. All right, I have a lot to prepare. Will you be okay on your own for a bit? I scoffed. What am I, 12? She laughed, patting my back. My bad. With that, she walked away, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Once she was gone, my mind drifted back to my mom's words, Ivy's supposed betrayal, and the fact that she was still alive. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. I was certain of my growing attraction and feelings toward Ileana, but I couldn't understand why I still couldn't stop thinking about Ivy. Her memory clung to me like a ghost, in spite of everything I had learned. As the clock struck midnight, I made a decision. I dressed quickly and walked over to Ileana's room. Standing in the doorway, I watched her as she slept soundly, her face peaceful like a child. My chest tightened with emotions I couldn't quite name, and I left her room quietly, sending her a voice message as soon as I returned to mine. Afterward, I made a few calls, arranged some things, and slipped out of the house without making a sound. A few hours later, I found myself back in my house in Tsinghua. The place felt colder than I remembered. I took out everything that reminded me of Ivy, the photographs, the gifts, and many other items. I piled them together, fully intending to burn them. Yet when the time came, I couldn't bring myself to strike the match. The past still had a hold on me, and I wasn't ready to let go just yet. Eventually, the sting from my injury flared up again, pulling me out of my thoughts. I left the house and made my way to the hospital, asking the doctor to cauterize it. He refused, of course, treating and rebandaging it instead. He gave me some painkillers and sent me on my way, but the real ache wasn't in my wound, it was somewhere deeper. By the time I returned home, the sun was creeping up over the horizon, and I realized it was almost time to head to where I needed to be. I changed into a black suit, my expression hardening with purpose. I drove to the hotel where the party was being hosted, a place far removed from the elegance I was accustomed to. Still, with a bit of money and the help of my private investigator, I had secured an invitation. When I reviewed the guest list, my heart skipped a beat. Ivy's name was on it. Using an alias, I entered the party. The room was buzzing with energy, but I kept to the shadows, blending in with the crowd. I wore a hat low over my eyes and turned off my phone, determined to avoid any recognition or unwanted attention. My eyes scanned the crowded hall, searching for her. Yet, despite the noise and the movement, I couldn't find her. Had I been misled? The thought crossed my mind more than once. Just as I was about to give up, the MC invited everyone to dance, and I turned to leave. That's when I saw her, Ivy. She was wearing a striking red dress that hugged her curves, and for a moment, it was like seeing a memory come to life. She looked as beautiful as I remembered, but she wasn't alone. Her arm was linked with a man, younger than me, his attire and demeanor clearly marking him as someone wealthy. Ivy clung to him like he was her lifeline, and when they stepped onto the dance floor, I couldn't tear my eyes away. She had always been a good dancer, and the years did not change that. Just before the music started, the man leaned down, kissed her ear, and she giggled, an action that used to make my heart race. Now, it did nothing. They danced, their bodies close, moving together in a way that only couples do. It was intimate, affectionate, and something shifted within me. I felt relieved. For so long, I'd thought I was still in love with Ivy, that I couldn't move on because my feelings for her were so strong. But in that moment, watching her with someone else, I realized it wasn't love that had held me back. It was guilt. I had spent years blaming myself for her death, thinking that someone in my family was responsible. If only I had been there that night at her party, maybe she would still be alive. That guilt had poisoned me, convinced me I still loved her. But now, seeing her so happy, so alive, I understood. I didn't feel any bitterness toward her, no jealousy. If anything, I was happy for her. A weight lifted off my shoulders, and before I knew it, a smile had formed on my face. It didn't matter anymore whether Ivy had been faithful or not. Even if she had been perfect, it didn't change the fact that she was no longer the woman I wanted. There was only one person in my heart now, and it was time I made her understand that I was never going to let her go.
I opened my eyes in the morning and rolled off my bed, stretching as I took in the light filtering through the curtains. It had been a while since I slept so soundly. Perhaps it was because I had gone to bed earlier than usual, or maybe it was the sense of purpose I felt knowing what I had planned for the day. After brushing my teeth and washing my face, I stepped out of my room in search of Hajan. It was strange how much I now craved the attention he used to give me. The playful teasing that once felt intrusive had become something I unconsciously longed for. I had been the one who insisted he stop flirting and saying things that made me blush. I told him to keep it professional, to focus on the mission. Yet now, as he respected my wishes, I realized how much I had enjoyed his seduction. Without even realizing it, I had grown fond of the way he looked at me, the sly comments that would make me smirk despite myself. Yesterday, I had even asked an unbelievable question, one I never thought I'd ask. I didn't know what had come over me, but my mind had raced, hoping he'd use the opportunity to flirt with me again. But before he could reply, that annoying call ruined everything, and I watched as the shift in his expression told me he was pulled back into serious mode. I didn't have the courage to push further after that and change the topic like a coward. The Hajan that first came to Seoul with me would never have let such an opportunity slip. He would have found a way to turn the moment back into one of his clever little games. But thanks to me, our conversations were now dominated by strategies for dealing with my enemies and keeping me alive. How could I get him to ease back into his old self? I missed the laughter, the teasing, the way he made everything feel a little less heavy. As I approached his room, I was determined to rekindle that. I wanted him to tease me, to lighten the weight of the day ahead. But when I knocked, there was no answer. After a few moments, I decided to go in, but the room was empty. A frown creased my brow as I searched the house. Part of me wondered if he had gone underground to check out the safe house, but I knew that only my fingerprints could open the door. When I checked the exit door, I found no sign of forced entry. The bolt that usually secured it from the inside had been undone, and the door was locked with a key instead. Could Hajan have left of his own accord? Or worse, had he been threatened and forced to leave? Panic surged through me, my heart pounding in my chest as I rushed back to my room, frantically searching for my phone. I was about to call him when I noticed a voice message waiting for me. I pressed play, and Hajan's familiar voice filled the room. "Hey, Ileana. If you're listening to this, it means I've already left Seoul. Please don't panic or think I've abandoned you. Something very important came up, and I had to leave. I wouldn't be able to focus on your revenge without taking care of this first. I need to be clear-headed if I'm to protect you." My jaw clenched, frustration building as his words continued. "I'm sorry for the way I left. I'll be back in less than 48 hours. In the meantime, please stay put and wait for me. I know you're independent and can handle yourself, but just this once, I hope you'll listen to me. Don't leave the house until I get back. Together, we'll complete your revenge. This is your husband's promise. Take care of yourself, Ileana. I'll see you soon." As the message ended, I gritted my teeth. What rubbish. Who was he to tell me to stay put? He was absolutely insane. I had so much to do, and he just left, asking me to wait for 48 hours. No way. He was right about one thing, though. It was my revenge, and I wasn't going to let it fall apart just because he wasn't around. "Couldn't you have at least discussed it with me first?" I yelled, more to myself than anything. So much for helping me and making me a priority. But what could be so important that he had to leave so suddenly? Was it about his mother's visit? Was it something related to Ivy? I had noticed that he rarely called me Ivy anymore, despite my insistence. He seemed to stick to Ileana now. Was he no longer comfortable with me using the name of the woman he loved? Was he hiding something from me? I wanted to call him to demand answers, but I stopped myself. "Forget about him, Ileana," I muttered. "He has his priorities just like you have yours. Let him take care of his problems and I'll take care of mine." Determined, I dashed into the bathroom, took a quick shower, and dressed for the day. As I mentally reviewed my plans, excitement buzzed through me. Picking up my bag, I headed for the door, but just as I was about to leave, Hajan's words echoed in my head. "I hope you'll listen to me this once. Do not leave the house until I get back." I sighed, leaning against the door for a moment, torn between my desire to get on with the day and the unexpected guilt I felt for disobeying him. "Damn you, Hajan, for making me fall for your charms," I muttered. I turned the key in the lock, but just as I was about to open the door, I hesitated. Slowly, I pulled the key out and stared at it. "Ileana, don't be stubborn. Listen to Hajan this time," I whispered to myself. Maybe staying in wasn't such a bad idea after all. I guess I could still get some work done from home. With a sigh, I dropped my bag on the floor and changed into more comfortable clothes. I then checked online and bought the exact same outfit I had worn on the night I attacked Yeren and Jiho, down to the specific brand of cologne I had used. I also purchased the correct size for Bora, making sure every detail was perfect for what I had in mind. Afterward, I contacted Yiwon, a reliable guy who had been handling errands for me for quite some time. We had never met in person. I communicated with him exclusively through a burner phone and paid him in Bitcoin. This way, he could never trace me, although I knew every detail about him, right down to where he ate his lunch. Once the purchase was complete, I forwarded the receipt to Yiwon and instructed him to collect the clothes, spray them with a cologne, and wrap them up neatly. "Who should I deliver this to?" Yiwon asked once he had finished packing the items. "Before you make the delivery, there's something else I need you to take care of first," I said. I sent him to retrieve something else, a chip I had stashed in a safety deposit box for safekeeping. My initial plan had been to retrieve it myself, but given the circumstances, I had no choice but to send him the password that would grant him access to the deposit box. When he confirmed that he had secured the chip, I gave him the next set of instructions. "I need you to insert the chip into Bora's phone for at least 30 seconds. Once it's done, let me know." I activated 2 chips on my laptop, using their unique serial numbers, and set everything in motion. Now, it was just a matter of time. After setting everything up, I called Subin. She picked up after a brief delay, and I got straight to the point. "Is it done?" "I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity," she replied. "It'll be taken care of in less than an hour. As for the cameras, I planted them all last night and granted you access. You can check it out whenever you like." Good job, I told her. With every passing day, I'm more and more impressed by you. Thank you, ma'am, she replied, clearly pleased. I'll insert the chip and inform you within the hour. I trust you, I said before hanging up. As the call ended, I found myself reflecting on how competent Subin was, wondering if her life had forced her into becoming an escort. Maybe, after all of this, I should help her, I mused. I could ask her what her dream is and fund it, no matter how much it costs. The thought made me smile. Imagining how happy she would be gave me a sense of satisfaction I hadn't felt in a long time. But then I quickly shook it off, a sharp voice in my head reminding me, "What is wrong with you, Ileana? This is the kind of naive generosity that got you betrayed in the first place." Subin was smart and capable, and considering the substantial amount I was paying her, she could live a better life if she truly wanted to once all of this was over. Being overly generous had already taught me a harsh lesson. I didn't need to repeat it. I checked my laptop and confirmed that Subin had indeed planted cameras in both Yeren and Jiho's bedrooms. Now I had access to everything. I bit my lip as my stomach growled loudly. I had been ignoring the hunger gnawing at me since morning, but now it was becoming unbearable. Getting breakfast would have been easy if I wasn't holed up at home. Ordering delivery was out of the question. That would alert my enemies that I was back in my outskirts apartment. I began packing the floor, considering my options. My thoughts drifted to all the times Hajan had cooked for me, how he'd always insisted that homemade food tasted better. How hard can it be? I muttered to myself. After all, I did help him cook that one time in Chinggual. Determined, I headed into the kitchen. I already knew what I wanted to eat, but the challenge was figuring out how to start. Suddenly, an idea struck me. Of course, the internet. I pulled out my phone and quickly found a video tutorial on how to make delicious meatballs with mashed potatoes. Placing my phone on the counter, I let the video play on repeat while I got to work. I mixed breadcrumbs, potato flour, and milk, following the instructions carefully. Before long, I was frying the meatballs, moving the pans swiftly to avoid burning them. Just as I was getting into the rhythm of cooking, my phone rang. It was Subin. Has she done it? I wondered aloud as I rinsed my hands and grabbed my phone, stepping out of the kitchen to answer the call. Hey, is it done? I asked, not wasting any time. Yes, I've done it, Subin confirmed. I nodded, satisfied. Good. If everything goes as planned, Bora will be arriving soon. Don't forget what you need to do when she gets there. I won't, ma'am, she replied confidently. After hanging up, I rushed to my computer to confirm Subin's words. Sure enough, I now had complete control of Jiho's phone. Settling onto the couch, I began scrolling through all his messages. Frustratingly, there was nothing there that showed he had directly given the order for me to be killed. Of course, I knew Jiho. He was cunning enough to have deleted the message or perhaps handled everything through phone calls, keeping things off the record. It didn't matter. Regardless of how carefully he had covered his tracks, he was still going to get what was coming to him. I called Yuan to check on the progress he'd made with Bora. His voice was calm as he said, "She just stepped out of the office now. I'm about to get the job done. I'll call you back in a minute or so." I hung up and began packing up and down the room, the tension building as I waited for Yuan's feedback. 2 minutes later, my phone rang. Yuan's voice came through again, calm and assured. "The job is done." I smiled to myself, a slow sense of satisfaction spreading. "Good job. I'll call you back shortly." Curiosity piqued, I turned my attention to Bora's messages. There wasn't anything in them about killing me, but what I did find was amusing, love messages between her and Jiho. Oddly, there were none in Jiho's phone, which only meant he had deleted them to cover his tracks. One text from Bora, sent early that morning, read, "You're not taking my calls, Jiho. Yesterday was fun, and I miss you so much already. I haven't seen you today, and that's probably why my day is so bad." I couldn't help but chuckle. "Oh, Bora, you're in love, huh?" Seeing as Jiho hadn't bothered to respond or call her back, I seized the opportunity. I typed a reply from his phone. "I love you too, baby. I'm quite busy at home today. Why don't you come and visit me? I've sent you a gift. Make sure to wear it when you come. I'll be waiting for you in my bedroom. If you bump into my wife in the living room, just ignore her. She's nothing but a vegetable. Here's the passcode to the door. No need to knock or ring, just type it in and come straight to my bedroom." Within moments, Bora eagerly replied, "Wow, I'm so excited already. I'll be there soon. Good thing that Jinx who calls herself the new chairman is not around." I scoffed. "Interesting, Bora. Let's see how this plays out." I deleted all the messages from Jiho's phone, but left the ones in Bora's for now. I wanted her to walk right into the trap. Afterward, I called Yuan again and instructed, "Deliver the parcel to Bora now and follow her. Let me know precisely where she is the moment she pulls up in front of a house. Once the call ended, I sighed with relief, leaning back into the couch. Everything was going smoothly so far. The pieces of my plan were falling into place. Suddenly, a sharp, acrid smell hit me. I sat up, alarmed. What's that smell? My eyes widened in horror as I remembered. I'd been cooking earlier. I shoved my laptop away and bolted toward the kitchen. The room was thick with smoke, making me cough uncontrollably. The frying pan had turned completely black, and the kitchen was in chaos. I frantically turned off the cooker, struggling for breath, and then slammed the kitchen door shut, retreating from the smoky mess. All my hard work had gone up in flames, literally, and I could not imagine myself going through such torture again. What am I going to eat now? I muttered to myself, sliding down to the floor, utterly defeated. The sadness hit me like a wave, and I found myself missing Hajun more than I'd ever missed anyone in my entire life.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like, share and comment below.